Yo, it's your boy Jacob. Today we're here with part 12 of my lawsuit against the city of Albert Lea, Minnesota series. We got some good news today. The Minnesota Court of Appeals has officially scheduled my oral argument for the case. The notice is behind me here. I'll show you that just so you have more confirmation, but let's dive into my little brief overview of everything so far. It's going to be on March 5th, 2026 at 11:15 a.m. It's going to have a 3-judge panel who will hear the arguments at the Minnesota Judicial Center in St. Paul. This means the case has moved past written briefs and into the stage where judges actively question both sides about the law and the record. This case isn't about politics or personalities. It's about whether a city can ignore its own ordinance and the state statutes when deciding who gets approved to operate a business. Remember, Minnesota law says shall, and shall is mandatory when it comes to issuing registrations at the local level to state licensed operators. In addition to that, the city's own ordinance literally says that they would issue registrations on a first-come, first-served basis. My position has always been straightforward. I complied with the rules, applied on time, and my registration was denied anyways without written reason. The court now has the complete record in front of it. That includes my opening brief explaining why the denial violated the law, the city's response defending its decision, and my reply brief pointing out contradictions and gaps in the city's arguments. At this point, no new evidence can be added. The judges are deciding whether the city followed the law, and if it didn't, what the appropriate remedy might be. At oral argument, the focus will be on a few core questions. Did the city lawfully deny my registration? Did it have the discretion to do so under its own ordinance? And if the denial was unlawful, what happens next? Those are legal questions, not political ones, and that's exactly where this case belongs. I'm confident in the legal arguments and grateful for my attorneys for their work, but courts are courts, and I respect the process. What matters to me is transparency, accountability, and making sure the rules are applied equally to everyone. I want to share one personal note as I wrap this up, not as a legal argument, just as context for why this matters to me. The oral argument in this case just happens to fall on the birthday of my oldest and one of my closest best friends who passed away about a decade ago from an overdose. Losing him was a turning point in my life. At the time, I dropped out of college and went on a long journey of self-discovery, learning about drug use, addiction, and mental health and harm reduction. That journey eventually led me into advocacy and education, and later to standing alongside Governor Walz when Minnesota legalized cannabis. For me, opening a dispensary has never been just about business. I believe that a dispensary in the right hands can be a tool for good, a place that helps people move away from more dangerous substances and toward safer alternatives while still operating responsibly and within the law. That belief is what's carried me through this process, and it's why I care so deeply about doing this the right way. R.I.P. Jordan. Oral arguments are public, and recordings are typically made available afterward. I'll share that link once it's posted. Thank you to everyone who's followed this case and supported transparency and fair treatment under the law. I'll continue to share updates as things move forward. And now I'll get my face out of the way. Here's what the notice looks like. They give you the date. They give you some brief instructions. You can pause it if you want. This is public. If you want to appear at the building to witness this in person, go for it. If you want to appear over phone or Zoom, call in and ask, I guess. The 3 judges aren't all named yet. Some new judges were appointed the other month by our governor, so maybe one of them will be the 3rd. I don't know. But we have the 1st judge and the 3rd judge here. both of which I've heard good things. I believe one is newer. Either way, I expect great things, and I'm sure they will do a phenomenal job. And I just look forward to learning more about their opinions about the subject and what they rule and why. You know how it is. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And as always, if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you, or at least direct you to somewhere or someone that can. Peace.